Hello everyone and welcome back to another video with my Audi R8, and in today's video I'm going to explain how and why this car became a little bit of an unexpected project car. Quite recently I had the dreaded aircon compressor go bad, which resulted in I needed a change. So due to the car being just completely unbearable to drive last summer, I decided to bite the bullet, spend £2,000 and have the aircon compressor replaced. Now, when I went to collect the car, there were a number of issues that the garage had inflicted on my car, purely down to the reason of they must have jet washed the car too closely. Now, I have washed the car many times and even used giant diesel powered jet washers, and I've never had an issue with the paint, yet they were able to remove paint from the rear fins on the bumper and also a little chip on the rear quarter, which wasn't ideal, but that whole scenario kind of prompted the premise of this video. So I have had the whole rear end of the car stripped, which you will see later on in the video. I've had the diffuser, the bumper, the tailpipes, the bit where the badges go, and the spoiler all painted orange. Now, since I've owned this car, the spoiler was always black and I've never ever liked it. So it's kind of a blessing in some ways that I decided to finally go ahead and get it. Now, the video is completely backwards because, as you can see, the car is complete. However, I'm just so excited to install this product onto my car. I thought I would show that process now so you guys can also cop some discount, and then show the kind of process and the other issues I found with the car along the way a bit further in the video. So if you want to see that, stay tuned. But for this segment, I'm going to be installing brand new gloss black badges to the rear of the R8. It did have some gloss black ones before, but they were simply the chrome ones that someone had painted, and they were of very poor quality, whereas these I've used before on my red R8, and I have to say the quality is incredible. Now, these are from a company called Auto Badge Shop. We've even used an old photo I took of a Gen 2 R8 just there. So if you want gloss black badges for your R8, S3, RS3, Q8, Q7, whatever, even a Porsche, you can follow the link down below and use my code BEN10 to cop yourself 10% off your order. So massive thanks goes to Auto Badge Shop for once again supplying the goods. This will truly transform the rear end of my car. These are ready to go on. Now, in my previous R8 Auto Badge Shop video, I was able to template where the badges originally were and then put them on exactly the same as OEM. But because this has been painted, I actually don't know where they should go. Obviously in the middle, but I really want to try and get the sizes and the measurements bang on perfect. And as you can see from this diagram, it does include the dimensions on where to install the Audi emblem and the R8. So I'm going to use this as a guide. It says right there, to hopefully get this right. So then what I've done is measure the center. So this part was 31 centimeters, so the middle is 15 and a half. And according to this, the rear rings should be 53.5 millimeters from the bottom to the top, I believe. So 53.5 millimeters. Let's do that in centimeters. So let's mark that there as the bottom. I wonder if I should do this by eye or just try and put the rings on. That's the issue. I know that's the bottom of the rings, so do I just put the rings on and try and eyeball it level? Oh, I'm going to kind of go for it. So middle is about there. I think I've nailed it. I think I've done it. With confidence, I can pretty much drop that down. Check that out then, guys. Now, I did use my phone with the dimensions as a bit of a guide. However, it was quite tricky without having the original location of the badges to stencil out. It was a bit tricky. However, I think I've done a rather good job at kind of trying to free hand it and almost guesstimate where they should go. It does look quite complete with the R8 badge. Like I mentioned before, this black bit was awful quality, but now it's just completed the rear end. Rather nice. And I think it looks fantastic. Now the car is complete. It just looks so fresh. And wow, massive thanks to Auto Badge Shop for hooking me up with those, because they look incredible. So now in this rather back to front kind of video, you will see the process of the project car essentially, and what I have done, and the love, sweat, blood and tears that has gone into this to make it looking like it has done, well, like it does now, because it looks so much better. Before, to be fair, it had a few stone chips in the arches, so rather than just paint part of the bumper, I decided to paint the whole bumper. So really, the kind of garage ruining my paint wasn't the worst thing in the world, because I did want to get to this car looking a bit better than it already did. So let's roll those clips now, and you guys will see what has gone into this car to make it look just like this. I'm not going to kind of dwell on it too much. It is what it is. I don't need any more stress after the red R8 fire, which is on the wall, so I don't need any more of that. They kindly offered to pay for half the repairs. However, me being me, once the rear end was off, I've kind of gone a bit overboard and thought, oh, I might as well do this, I might as well do that. And I also found one quite alarming thing when I removed the rear end. So when I removed the rear end, i.e. the bumper and all that, I noticed my Top Gear F1 exhaust had cracked along this X pipe here. Now, obviously that isn't ideal, and I thought, you know what, seeing as I've gone to all this trouble to get the rear end off, I may as well take the exhaust off and get that repaired, which is exactly what I have done. As you can see, that has been welded up and is good to go. That is ready to go back on the car. Project car. So then this is another look at the Audi R8 engine bay with no exhaust. Now, what are my plans? So I mentioned the exhaust is ready to go back on. The bumper is off for paint, but while I'm getting the bumper painted, I thought, whilst it's off, I might as well get the whole thing painted. It did have a little crack in kind of the exhaust exit area. So I was going to get that corner painted, and then I decided, you know what, might as well just go do the whole bumper, make it a lot fresher. What else? The fins, which are plastic, are going to be dropped off to the same body shop this afternoon. The mesh behind those fins are metal, as are obviously the exhaust tips. So they have been sent off at the same time to be powder coated gloss black. I'm also getting the bit where the badges are repainted orange, and then the spoiler, the active spoiler, which was originally on this car, painted gloss black, which I have never ever liked since I've owned this car. Whilst that is off, that is also getting painted orange. Speaking of rear end, I also got talked into painting the diffuser in gloss black. Now, I don't particularly like matte black or plasticky black parts on a car. I do prefer gloss black, so that is just another little expenditure thrown into the Project R8 bill, but I'm sure once it's on, it will look absolutely fantastic. Look at that then. So I have actually been getting really carried away because I'm super impatient and have been itching to see the bumper complete on the car. That is why there has been a lack of footage. But basically, excuse the poor lighting, because the one right above the car has decided to stop working. But basically what I have done, since the garage damaged the fins and also this bit on the side, like I mentioned, I've gone full overboard. So I removed the rear bumper and I've had the exhaust tips powder coated gloss black, and also this mesh behind the fins also powder coated in gloss black. And then also completely unnecessarily, I decided to have the whole rear bumper repainted just to get it that much more fresh, I suppose. And also the fins, which were damaged, have been painted in gloss black, and it just looks incredible. Also, I mentioned I'm not a fan of kind of plasticky plastic, matte black or any of that, so probably a bit hard to see, but the diffuser is also now gloss black, which has made a huge difference. And what a transformation this car has had. Honestly, it looks so good. I've not driven it in about 3 weeks. This video has kind of been thrown together from bits where I've just worked on a car where I can. It's nice to see the shelf of bolts slowly disappearing. I've got the badges, bit of trim to go on next, which goes here, and then new bolts for the spoiler. The spoiler was black and I absolutely hated it. I've never ever liked it in black. It looks silly in my opinion. So that's been painted orange, and I can also hopefully adjust it a lot better, as previously it didn't fit flush. So let's crack on, get the car back together, hopefully get the wheels back on, but I'll probably do that tomorrow. There we have it then, guys. The Audi R8 rear end is complete and is looking better than ever. I cannot believe how it's turned out, especially these rear fins. Just look so clean. I'm not going to touch them now because they're dusty. One thing that hasn't fared up very well are the powder coated exhaust tips. If I'm being honest, as you can see, it's kind of melted. So I may just replace those with chrome because I'm sick of taking the car apart, and aftermarket things such as that just don't seem to work, which is a shame, but I don't think they'll look too bad chrome. And once again, a massive thanks to Auto Bad Shop for completing the rear end and just finishing it up so nicely. But now it just looks so good. What I do want to do at some point, well, I'm debating whether or not I get the front end painted, because there is a bit of kind of corrosion there that actually started because there's a stone chip on the underside, so it's bubbled up. So I'm tempted to get the front end done. That way I can get the car polished and ceramic coated. However, there is a part of me that does like having a slightly rough front end, because that way I can drive it, I can put miles on the car, and I don't necessarily have to worry about it. I think if it was all painted and ceramic coated, I may kind of treat it a little bit more as a garage queen, which maybe then will kind of make me not want to use it, which would be a massive shame, because what I want to do in this car is just go on many road trips and use it and enjoy it. But that is where I'm going to end today's video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and of course make sure you hit the subscribe button and a little notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future upcoming content with the Audi R8 and of course my garage renovation project. Once again, a massive thank you to Auto Bad Shop, and a little reminder, you can use my code BEN10 to get 10% off your gloss black badges and transform the look of your car. Once again, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you as always for the support, and I'll see you in the next one.